It's a great pleasure. We are on the day 4 of phase 2 research approach on the blockchain technologies. Let me introduce myself. I am Bhaskar, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, KCG College of Technology. Okay. I am on behalf of the management Department of Information Technology. We welcome our eminent speaker, Mr. T. Ram Kumar, eminent speaker, Mr. T. Ram Kumar, Project Manager, Additive Software, Hyderabad. Okay, let me give a brief introduction about today's speaker. Mr. T. Ram Kumar is a blockchain developer and trainer and played critical role in developing many DApps and forks in public and private blockchain technology. He has a very good experience in Hyperledger Fabric. He has 15 plus years of IT and teaching experience, presently working as a project manager, blockchain technology at Additive Software Hyderabad, and extremely passionate about blockchain technology and love training people. He conducted many workshops at various colleges in and around Hyderabad, for which he got excellent feedback. Mr. T. Ramkumar has conducted training sessions on blockchain technology to many corporate employees. He holds Master of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering from Bharat University, Chennai. He is having a lifetime membership with professional bodies like ISTE and CSI. He has done the following professional certification courses: CCNA certificate holder, certified Ethereum expert, certified Solidity developer, certified Hyperledger expert, IBM certified data scientist. I again welcome you. A wonderful session with you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Bhaskar, sir. I would like to thank KCG College for giving me this opportunity. So uh, now, all of the faculty members and experts in the educational domain, I would like to warm welcome to you all for this program. Right. Today's session, we are going to concentrate on the what are the different cyber security issues in the blockchain arena. So let I want to start with the session like this way. First of all, I want to talk about the what project we can take for the blockchain domain. Why? Because when we are doing the projects, so everybody is thinking that even some of the faculty members also asking me that, sir, all the projects can we deploy in the blockchain arena? Like that way they're asking it. And even I think so that you might be heard about majorly the Telangana government as of now, and Andhra government, might be Tamil Nadu government also. They want to publish the land registrations by using the blockchain technology. So this they are discussing about this concept, and I think so that they are working on that project also. So so what is the difficulty when we are talking about the land registrations, that I want to focus it primarily. So when we had a discussion with a IIT professor, academic professor in the domain of land registrations, sir, can we go for a blockchain technology for the land registration? So he addressed us that, sir, if we are conducting the land registrations in the blockchain as it is, whatever the condition situation are there right now, if you are placing that in the blockchain, then it won't be give any good use, because already one particular land is registered for several number of members. So this is a primarily a bigger problem when we are with so many persons. Then first of all, we have to resolve this problem. Otherwise, it won't give you any good result right now. So suppose if A is a exact owner, B and C are not the exact owners, then if they don't want, if they didn't resolve this issue, then suppose if B claimed as this is my property, then if the data of B is entered for this land, then we can't do anything. So that is the issues are there when application we are applying it for the land registrations type of conditions. So whenever we are applying any project by using the blockchain, then we should first of all taking care of that, yeah, for where we can do this process and where we can't. So that we have to first of all understand it, then only we can apply the like a blockchain technology. So in this concept, what I want to cover here is that now I want to take a decision path which I can take once I will consider that blockchain. And so whether I can take any project by using a blockchain or not, so that we will see. I have written something 7 points here. So by using these 7 points, I want to tell that whether we can go with a blockchain project or not. That I want to talk about this one, right? So first of all, before going to discuss about this thing, I will take an example also for this one. So whether we'll go for a particular blockchain technology or not, that we will see. Suppose if I'm taking the consideration of the health insurance. So when I'm considering the health insurance, then so first of all, who are the actors? The actors are, suppose I'm taking it as a insurance agency. Insurance agency will be the one of the actor, and like hospitals are one of the actors, and diagnostic centers one of the actor, and all the users are customers of the those who avail the health insurance. Those all are the actors. So these are the four categories of actors are there for the health insurance point of view. Now in that scenario, I'm going to explain this one. Now need to share the common database, so which they want to share the common database. So for this question, so either if you are taking that consideration of the what we call as a either insurance agency or hospitals or diagnostic center or customers, they are going to share the common database right now. So they have to share that common database. So for that reason, I'm going to take it as a consideration that the for that question the answer is yes. For this question, my answer is yes. Multiple parties are involved in this program. So because of that reason, for this question also, I am taking the yes only right now. And then I'm taking that parties are having the conflict incentives and not trusted. Now will any insurance agency is trusting the hospitals or diagnostic center? No, not at all right now. So because of that reason only, whenever we are claiming for a bill something, then they are asking us that okay, it is not possible, we can't give like this way, like that way they are used to tell, right? So again that is also, so they have there is no trust there. So because of that reason, for this question also, the answer is yes. And the rules governing for the all the participants are uniform. Yes. So the rules for any hospital, when you are considering it as a, or any diagnostic center or any customers, are uniform. We are not at all changing the rules frequently, right? So because of that reason, the for this question also the answer is the yes only, right? And need for an objective of immutable log, which it means that now once if the data is entered into the blockchain, then it should not be changed. So is it required? Yes. If it is not there, then what happens? Now suppose as a customer, I'm the ex customer, I have claimed the bill in the month of March, then if it is possible, then I will delete this data, and again in the December I will claim it again. There is a possibility right now, whenever we are talking about the database, then there is a possibility to remove the data at any point of time is possible. So so for this question also we require an immutable log in order to get the accurate data. So for this question also, yes. And rules of the transaction do not change frequently, which it means that if any insurance company is telling me that okay, this year you paid 20,000, next year if they are talking about yeah, you have to pay 25,000 this year. No, it's not like that way right now. So whenever we are doing some transaction, whenever we are doing any okay, rules, then the rules are uniform to each and everyone. So it should not be changed frequently. So that's what we are talking about. The rules of the transaction do not change frequently. So for this question also, the answer is yes. So when it satisfies all these conditions, so that I can go with a blockchain, no issues. Now there is a problem again. What is the question is that I'm having the two different types of blockchains are there. One is a public blockchain and second one is a private blockchain. So which one I have to choose? When if I want to include all the customers also into the consideration, then I will go with a public blockchain. Or I don't want to include all these customers. I don't require the customers. I require only the insurance agency, hospitals, and only the diagnostic centers are involved in the blockchain platform. Then I'm going for the private blockchain. So like this way we are going to opt the blockchain when we require a blockchain, when we are not required the blockchain based on the project, so that what is the requirement of those things. I got one project from US that they asked me that hi Ram, can you do the problem solving for a transaction? Why? Because insurance is nowadays upcoming concept for India, but in US in US for everyone it is required, right? So they asked me that yeah, can we go with that insurance? No. There per day they are doing around 10,000 transactions per day, more than this one, transactions per day. So right now, no other any type of blockchain technology are not providing these many transactions per day, right? So that is the difficulty what we are facing sometimes. So number of transactions, that also we have to consider it, right? So please, whenever we are trying to evaluate the blockchain concepts, then remember these points so that it will be helpful, right? Now coming to our point, so how the security is providing it, I think, so that you have some basic understanding of the blockchain, so that I will combine to the older concepts to the newer concept, and where the security and the cyber security concepts are involved. These all things I would like to like share, and I will take the real time project there, how we have deployed the real time project, that also I am going to explain it right anyway. So whenever I'm talking about the blockchain, then a blockchain consists of a, first of all, the first block in the blockchain is called as a genesis block. After that, so in the block level, we will get a what we called as a block hash. So what is the hash and how we can recognize it, that we will see. So whenever I'm talking about the hash value, please observe that I'm having the hash uh, SHA-256. Suppose online, if I'm typing it, then so for every transaction, suppose if I'm typing it as a hi, how are you? Then so whatever the data I'm typing it, for the data, a one-way hash will be generated by using a SHA-256. So we know that there are various hashing algorithms are there, but right now I'm using the SHA-256. Whereas so every blockchain technology will have their own hashing methodology. So suppose Ethereum is using ETH hash is their own hashing technology they have used in order to generate a hashing value, right? So for every transaction you are giving it to the blockchain, that you are going to get the hash value, so that you will get it. There is no issue at all. So we know that it is an one way generated. Now in a particular block, I'm having the several number of transactions are available. For all these transactions I will get a only one hash value. Now how I will get it, that I will talk in the concept of the Merkle tree, right? So what is a Merkle tree? Merkle tree means that, now suppose imagine that I'm having a four transactions, calling it as a, this is my A transaction, this is my B transaction, this is my C transaction, and this is my D transaction. Right? These all are four different transactions, like this way. Like this way, I'm giving the hi, how are you, something. This is my transaction. Now for the transaction, I'm getting the hash value, right? Now, so I'm getting the hash value for this one. I'm calling it as a HA, right? Similarly, for all the other transactions, I will take it as a, this is a HB hash value, and this is a HC hash value, and this is a HT hash value, like this way, right? Now then, I'm combining these two hash value, adding up these two hash value, so that I will get the HAB as my hash value. And for the C and D also, I am doing the same thing, and I will get the HCD. I will get the hash value, right? And again, I'm combining these two things, then adding up these two things, so that I will produce that HABCD, which it means that in a block, suppose if I am taking it as a, these are my four transactions in the blockchain, then I have in the entire block, I have only the one hash value, the one hash value. Now why I'm doing like this way means that if anybody is trying to change this one, then automatically it will impact on this one. There is no issue at all, right? So now how it will be combined with the other hash value, that we will see. So that I will cover it in the later part. First of all, let we will complete this one. So I'm having the previous hash value, and in the block I will get the hash value in that manner by using the Merkle tree, and then that will be forwarded to the next block. So that will be forward to the next block as a previous block hash. So, and the previous block hash and current block, whatever the Merkle root, whatever I am getting it, that will be added together, and it will produce the block hash of the current block. So like this way it will be proceeded. Now, so this is the blockchain ecosystem, I think so, that you might be heard about this point also, right? Now, so the thing is that whenever we are writing it, if I want to transmit something from one system to other system, right, from one person to other person, then, so suppose this is A and this is B, two different accounts. So whenever a transaction submitted to the blockchain, then it will be broadcasted to the every node into the network. So suppose, for example, I'm going to take an example. So imagine that in the real case scenario, you have a thousands of nodes are there, but here I am taking the only the few nodes here. So these all are connected, right? So After this, now suppose A wants to transfer to B something right now, some suppose two ethers, then so that transaction will be like broadcasted to each and every other nodes in the network, right? So that's the point what we are discussing it here. After that, so one of the node will confirm that the transaction, yes, it is a valid transaction only, like that way they will confirm it. So in the block, as we know that there are n number of transactions. So this is the one of the transaction. Such type of remaining transactions are also added into the block. Then a block will be created and that block will be added into the blockchain. Then you will get the notification. The receiver will get the notification. So this is the usual scenario when we are talking about a blockchain ecosystem, right? So whenever we are talking about any type of blockchain technology, then we have a like a what are the different types of cryptography techniques they are using it in the blockchain, already incorporated in the blockchain technology. Because we are talking, because of that reason only we all are taking into the part of this is a new technology, so it can protect from the data. Even if you observed in the last year, because of the ransomware attack, so we lost so much data. So that is the case. It happens when we are not storing our data, or we are not securing our data in a proper way. That is the problem. So to secure our data, we are using the blockchain, so that suppose if I'm talking about the what are the cryptography techniques I am using it in the blockchain, means that I'm using the hashing, right? As we discussed earlier, that every transaction will have the hashing. So I don't know that whether you have seen it or not, but this is my responsibility to show that one. So whenever we are talking about the Ethereum, I'm talking about the one of the blockchain technology called as an Ethereum blockchain. So there I'm opening that Ethereum scan.io. There it will be record the all the transactions happening in the Ethereum blockchain. So there I'm going to show the view transactions. Now if I'm typing it, then whatever the transactions you are seeing, these things, the transactions, whatever these transactions, so this is a transaction hash. So and you have a from address and to address, that's a different story. What is that also I will discuss it in the later part. But right now, so we are talking about the hash value. So this is a hash value. Anyway, the hash value, how it will be generated, that also we have discussed it, right? And then this is the hash value what you are going to get when your transaction is submitted, right now. So that you will get it now. So the hashing is going to be provided to secure your data as an immutable, right? It should not be a mutable concept. So it should be an immutable. Because of that reason we are using the hashing, right? Now what we are going to discuss is that next is a digital signature. What does it mean? So whenever we want, if we are submitting a transaction, now here a person has submitted the transaction, A is submitted a transaction. Now how A will be verified? By using a digital signature. So by using a digital signature, A will be verified, right? So I think so that you all know about the digital signature. Why? Because I think so that from the network security concepts, right? And we are using the asymmetric cryptography also, right? So here we are using in order to identify the each and every ownership and confirm the transaction. We are using the asymmetric cryptography. So these are the various cryptography techniques we are using in order to secure my data, right now. So we know that the hashing already I have shown to you. that where we are you going for the hashing, how it will be generated it. Right now, Merkle tree, we have solved it, and we got the what we call as a the hash of the value that we got it. Now, how it will be incorporated right now? So any block which consists of the various values, like a previous hash, we have it right now. Timestamp, it is having it. Transaction root, that's what we are getting it from the Merkle tree. This is my Merkle tree, right? This is my Merkle tree. So from the Merkle tree, I'm going to get it, and I'm having the nonce. Nonce means that there are two different types of nonce we are using in the blockchain. One nonce here, whatever I am talking about, number of transactions here, number of transactions we are talking about, whereas the another non is also there in order to find the block difficulty. So in order to find out the block difficulty, there we are using the nonce. So there we are using the nonce, but here whatever the nonce we are using it, it is a transaction number, right? And then, so now I'm calculating by using this already we have discussed it, right? So by using the blockchain technology, so whenever I'm talking about the value, and this hash value and combined together with a previous block hash will be generated for this block hash. Now this block hash will be sent to the next block as a previous block hash. And then again the same thing, whatever the transactions are there in this block, that will be calculated as a transaction root, that is a one hash value, and again it will be combined together. Like this way it will be going together in a block to block. So in the similar way of our linked list concept, the same thing. In the linked list we discussed about that what we call as an address. Here we are talking with respect to the hash, nothing change. The one more new point is there that in a block I am having the several number of transactions. Because of that reason I am calculating the entire thing as a single unit of hash. For that we are using the Merkle tree. That's it. Now, so whenever I am talking about the cybersecurity issues in the blockchain technology, so again I have to segregate it into the two different points. One is a public blockchain issues, and whereas the another one is a private blockchain issues. So both we have to see in a two different directions. Whenever I am talking about the anyway, so in order to come over from the security issues in the real world scenario, for that only we are using the blockchain. As by using the majority of the part I have solved by using the blockchain, I have secured my data, but still there is a gap. Still there is a gap. Now I think so that you aware of the blockchain, right? So that is a public blockchain. Right. Now I'm taking the public blockchain example is the Ethereum. I'm taking the example of Ethereum. Right. I think so that you know the some of the basics of the Ethereum. Right. I'm not going to cover those things. So right now I'm going to talk about the so I'm talking about the end-to-end solution in Ethereum. Now, how I can develop it. So whenever I'm talking about the end-to-end solution, so first of all, before the end-to-end solution, so you are writing a Solidity smart contract, right? And this smart contract, you can deploy it into the blockchain. That is a Ethereum blockchain. So this we know that, and this part is secured. We know that there is no issue at all. There is no issue at all. So whatever the techniques we are using it in order to store these things and all these things. So just I want to recap it, how I can do these things. Just go to that, I think so that you might be learned these things also. So simply go to that remix Ethereum. So you are using the remix Ethereum in order to write the smart contract in Solidity. Then what you are doing here is that so whenever whatever the program you have, whatever the smart contract you have written in the Ethereum, that you are going to deploy it. My system is a little bit slow, might be the networking issue, right? To deploy this one, we use it to have a MetaMask. So MetaMask will give you a what we call as a methodology. That means it will give you an account. Why? Because whatever the transaction we are doing it here in the blockchain, then definitely it should have some account address. Right now, from which account to which account you are transferring something. Now I have created this account, right? I'm having this account address. So that address, same address we have in the previous way. Whenever we discussed about the, whenever I have shown that Ethereum block explorer. So whenever I'm showing this one, so this is my from address right now. So to whom I'm transferring it, that what it is talking about, this address, this address, right? Suppose if I am writing a smart contract here, suppose I have written some program. Now if this program, if I want to deploy it, right, then I have to, right, use through MetaMask, I'm going to submit this program. That's what we are doing it, right? So which it means that, so from this place to, from this Solidity part to Ethereum concept, the link is secured. Why? Because the nobody can understand the address right now. So I will copy my address here. I will copy my address. This is my address, right? I have copied it and I'm pasting it in the notepad, right? So this, nobody can't understand this one. So what is this one? Nobody can't understand it, right? So nobody can crack this. What is the what is the address? That address. Now imagine that we know that the invention of blockchain by Satoshi Nakamoto. Now nobody knows till now. Bitcoin reached to $20,000. But even though till now no one knows who is Satoshi Nakamoto, because the identity is can be kept into the secret. Nobody knows that one. So this account belongs to me, even though it is publicly available. The from address is publicly available, but still it is not at all understandable by any person. That is the issue with the like any blockchain technology. This can be happened in any Ethereum, any blockchain technology, not only for the Ethereum, right? So my data, whatever the data I'm storing it and I'm using it from Solidity to Ethereum blockchain, this is secured. There is no issue at all. Now this part is secured. Now still what I have to do? Now I can't run every time that by taking this contract, smart contract, and I can't run like this way right now. So I have to write something that more than this part. So what is the other solution is that, so after this, I'm going to use this Solidity code and I'm going to develop the front end. Now front end, we know that we can develop the front end by using a HTML, CSS and JavaScript, or Angular or React. By using all these things, I can develop the front end. There is no issue at all. Right now. So whenever I am developing like this way, then then what I'm doing here is that, so this is exposed in the security issues. This is going to be exposed. Why? Because after this, I'm going to write something and it is going to be stored in the outside, and we are using the publicly, so that it is exposed into the outer world. Now, so from this point onwards, whatever the data we are giving the data here, there we are going to use that Web3.js in order to link this front end to the Ethereum network, that we are doing it. So from the front end through Web3.js, I'm linking with my blockchain technology, that is the Ethereum blockchain. I'm talking about the Ethereum especially, right? So this we are doing it. Now, the problem with the security concerns are in this place only. So here we may face the problem, or whenever we are transmitting the data till it reaches to the Solidity code, then definitely there is a problem. So whatever the technology measurements are there, when you are like using the web, then the same precautionary measures also can be taken here also. There is no issue at all, right? So that is the issue with the what we call as the public blockchain domain. Now I'm going to talk about the private blockchain domain. So the best example for the private blockchain domain is Hyperledger. I think so that you might heard about this one. So we are using the Hyperledger. So by using the Hyperledger, we are going to activate or access the data. So the beauty of this one is that, so in the public blockchain, the problem or the new things or whatever the things are there, it is publicly transparent, but still it is immutable. Still it is immutable. That is happening in this public blockchain arena. In and again, the nodes in the public blockchain, anybody can add. So everybody can add in as a node as part of the public blockchain system. That is possible. But whereas if I'm talking about the Hyperledger, then we know that it is a private blockchain. So the difficulty part is that we have to write the code to establish the nodes, how many nodes you require it, and what is the roles of this each and every node, and all these things. Suppose if I'm writing the Hyperledger code for your college, then what I have to do, I have to tell the first of all how many departments are there in the each department, who are handling the what works. These all things I have to define it in the Hyperledger. So that is the difficulty part. Again, here also, I have established the network. Yes. Now I will establish the network not in this format, as we aware of the Hyperledger, right? So we are using the one is an orderer, at least one is an orderer. We can use the multiple orderers also. That's a different story. After that, we are using the various nodes. Suppose if I'm taking the 4 nodes. So this is my node 1, this is node 2, node 3, and node 4. And these all are connected. Right? So whatever the transactions are happening, it first of all, it will be broadcasted to each and everyone. Then again it will be resent to the orderer, and orderer will confirm it, yes, this is a valid transaction. Then orderer will resend to the transaction to each and every node to maintain a copy, to maintain a ledger. So that is the process what happens in the what we call as in the hyperledger arena. Now here also, the if I'm talking about the security issues, the 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 infrastructure whatever we have developed it by using an hyperledger platform, then this entire structure is safe. There is no problem at all, right? Some of the key concepts are there that I will discuss it in the later part, but so up to this point is safe. Again, the problem with this one is that again you are going for the front end. Right now you can't directly use that the process right now. So this is my channel, we called as a, after that I'm going to write a chain code, and by using the chain code I'm going to develop a front end in order to access this network. Again, the problem concerned in this place is every time I'm talking about the only the front end, that I have to talk with the IoT devices also, right? That we will discuss in the later part. But the majority of the things we are developing the programs in this manner, right? So these are the difficulties which we are going to face it. In this area, still we are lagging how to secure this data, right? Now I will give an the example, whatever the project we have developed it, right? Now, so where we are facing the problem exactly in the exist, sir, is there any problem with the existing blockchain technology? Means that yes, some problems are there. Some problems are there. So the problems are, the first one is a 51 percentage of vulnerability. What does it mean? What is the meaning of 51 percentage? Which it means that take the any network, take the any blockchain network, then, so if I'm talking about the POW, I think so that in the POW, if you're discussing about this concept at the time, I think so that you might be heard about that 51 percentage attack, which it means that the, suppose if I'm having a in the network, sys systems are there. I'm having the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 nodes are there. I'm talking about the public blockchain majorly. So so if it is a private blockchain, then there is no issue of the 51 percentage attack. There is no issue. Now, now in this one, suppose 4 nodes are compromised, which it means that majority of the nodes are compromised. Then what happens? Then automatically the problem will come. Why? Because if these people are confirmed the transactions, if these people confirm the transaction, that will be a final one. That is the problem right now. So to overcome this situation only, we have a POS, proof of stake. Again, there also we have a problem is there. That's a different story. But so there is a problem. Now to overcome this, how we can overcome this one, which it means that to get the totally the computational power of a any public blockchain network, to get this 51 percentage is difficult. The problem with this one, so getting the 50 percentage of computational power in any blockchain, public blockchain network is difficult. So because of that reason, this will be ruled out. Now, if the same scenario, if I'm talking about the 51 percentage attack for the POS, means that again 51 percentage of stake, which it means that if I'm having the, like suppose 1,000 coins, any 1,000 coins, then if somebody is having the at least 501 coins, then he can enter the data as a falsy data, he can enter into the blockchain. But getting the 51% of stake by a single person is too difficult. So that is also ruled out. So we cannot like um, enter our falsy data into the blockchain is difficult by using a 51% attack. Now, so that's about the 51% attack. And next is the double spending, which it means that whenever we are having a same transaction, suppose what we called as a, now suppose if I'm having a like I am there, my account is there, right? I'm A. Now this is B and this is C, right? Now I'm having the 4 bitcoins BTC. I'm transferring it for the both the persons. Right now I'm having the 5 BTC. I'm transferring the 5 BTC to the same persons, these 5 BTC, two at a time. So that's what we called as a double spending. Now, this will be ruled out because whenever we are trying to spend the same amount for two different persons, then first of all, one transaction should be confirmed. So whenever one transaction is confirmed it, then automatically the second one is rectified it. So it will be overcome because of the mechanism what we have it. So the mechanism we have it in the transaction verification mechanism right now, and transaction privacy leakage, which it means that whenever I want to do any transaction, then if whenever I am writing a smart contract for a particular transaction, then if I'm not able to define correctly the transaction, then automatically I will be loser. Right now, if I'm not able to define a transaction in a correct manner, then there should be a leakage. So this is happening it in the real case scenario. This problem is there. Because of that reason only, whoever are writing the smart contracts, they should take utmost care in order to see that what types of transactions can be allowed and what type of transactions are not allowed into the blockchain network. That should be clearly defined. Otherwise, there should be a big problem here. And vulnerabilities in the smart contract, which it means that whenever we are designing it any code, then definitely we will write something like that way right now. So because of that reason, a lot of loss happened for the blockchain systems. So if I'm writing a statement from here and there in the writing the smart contract, then automatically everything will be gone. So it may be entered into the loop or something like that way. Then because of that reason, you may get loss of hues. So the transaction design concept, and as well as whenever you are writing a smart contract design phase, you have to take utmost care when you are writing these things, right? So these are the different issues when we are concerned about the blockchain ecosystem, and you are going to face it now. So I'm going to explain that in my real case problem statement, right? We have worked on this thing. So we all right now listening about the uh, cold chain right now. This we have worked on it, the cold chain ecosystem right now. Whenever a truck is moving from one place to another place, from Chennai to Hyderabad, or maybe countries to countries also, then the data is going to be recorded in the various locations right now. So please observe the diagram first, right? So that after that we will discuss it. Now what my plan is that, from the IoT sensor I'm passing that what is the temperature maintained the inside. Why? Because during the COVID vaccine we all are talking about whenever we are transferring the data, then whenever we are transferring the vaccines, then it should be maintained in a particular temperature, right now. So whenever I'm placing the vaccines in a truck, then the data will be like hand over to the by IoT device. It will be received to the blockchain, and from the blockchain again I'm storing the same data into the various places. Now when you are storing the blockchain directly and then you are accessing from the blockchain, then there may not be a that much of problem. But if I'm reverting the data, what we are doing it when we are implementing it, that when we are using the cloud after the blockchain, then we are storing again in the cloud data in the outside. These all things we are doing it. So the problem again here is when I am talking with this place right now. So still I I cannot able to understand that when I'm taking the data from the from the IoT device, then is it secure? Means that yes, there is a problem. Still there is a problem right now. So still it should be rectified maybe in the future. So there are several methods are there to rectify these things, but still it is not at all trustworthy right now, like a blockchain. So that these all things will be have to be checked carefully in order to identify and in order to work on this place, right? So this is my part now. uh, yeah, if you have any questions from your side, yeah, you can ask me, please. If you have any queries regarding blockchain, any question, no problem. It's not related to our current content. Maybe if you have any other questions than in the like blockchain arena, you can ask me, no problem.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Good morning, sir.
good morning, ma'am.
Can we use Hyperledger in Windows, sir? Windows OS?
Uh, right now it is not compatible, ma'am.
Okay.
Still it is not compatible. We are facing still some problems when we are doing it,
So we
because of
can
that
do it.
reason still we are using the Linux machines only.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Still not at all compatible. They are giving that yes, you can use the Windows also. Still in the even their official website also they're telling that still not 100% compatible. We are facing some issues while we are doing the work on the Windows systems.
Okay, sir. And
Yeah.
also, can we create an algorithm for blockchain, sir? As a research scholar, can we create an algorithm for security purpose? Is it possible?
Right. First of all, you please understand, ma'am, like first of all, what a blockchain and what is the ecosystem, how they are developing it, that we will see. So first of all, I have a blockchain technology. This is my blockchain technology, right? It was developed by using a like a whatever the hashing techniques are there, and decentralized, distributed, immutable, all these concepts, this blockchain technology was developed. You can download it, this blockchain technology, directly from the internet. There is no issue at all right now. That ecosystem, the blockchain technological ecosystem, you can develop it. On top of it, on top of it, everybody has defined their own, we called as a white paper, somebody is calling it as a white paper right now. So they have defined their frameworks. So in the realistic scenario, I may call it as these all are frameworks. So what are the frameworks? Ethereum is a framework, Bitcoin is a framework, and Stellar is there, Ripple is there, like this way. Thousands of frameworks are already defined on top of the blockchain network. Right? This is also possible. Right? After this, on top of it, very few of the technologies or frameworks allow us. That means we all are users, right? We all are users. So allows us to write some code on top of this platform. Like because of that reason, we are learning about the Ethereum. So Ethereum allow us to write some code or to solve our problem by using the Ethereum blockchain network. That is the structure which they have made for Ethereum. By using Solidity language, I can develop some code and I can use it, right? But if I'm talking about the Bitcoin is not at all allowing us to write some code on top of the Bitcoin. That is not possible. Right now, ma'am? Understood my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. So that is the structure. So based on your requirement, so you have a if you are able to define a white paper on a particular concept, then you can write this part. But please, my advice is that don't take these parts into the considerations. Why? Because it is too difficult for us, right? So take this opportunity, like up to here, you take that one, and then after that, on top of it, whatever the use case you want to define it, you define it. Or you can take that we have a various types of consensus algorithms are there, right? Proof of work, proof of stake, proof of authority. Like we had a discussion of a maybe you might be heard about various consensus algorithms. By using any one of the consensus algorithm, or concentrate on the consensus algorithm as a your research part, so why can't we use another consensus mechanism for getting the more trustworthy and safest data transfer? So in that arena, if you concentrate it on, then it would be good. Like consensus mechanism, you concentrate. Why? Because in the market there are various consensus mechanisms are there, right, ma'am?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, is it advisable to use that online Remix Ethereum IDE, sir? Or do we have anything to be downloaded in our system?
Roughly, yeah,
Hello, sir. One second. Your voice is breaking.
truffle is
Hello?
there, ma'am. Truffle, yeah, truffle is there, ma'am. Truffle.
Truffle. Okay.
Generally in the realistic scenario, we use truffle. Why? Because whenever we are doing that in online, then definitely we'll feel that it will be a security breaches, right? So because of that reason, we won't use directly in the online. For educational purpose, yes, we can use that online version of remix. There is no problem at all. But whenever you are solving a problem, then better to use your in the research purpose, whether it can be useful or not. But I didn't understand that one. But the in the realistic scenario, the truffle will be useful, and online IDE will be useful. Based on your requirement, you can go ahead, no issues. Why? Because truffle is a little bit complicated thing in order to do that work, but it's a safe worth. There is no issue at all.
We can directly get it from, we can download it, sir. Can we download it?
So I think your voice is not audible, sir, now.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. You can install it in your system. Still. Hello.
Yeah, now it's
Hello.
audible, sir.
Hello.
Sir, now it's
Right.
audible,
I think
sir.
so. There is some. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
Hello,
Any
sir.
question,
Yes,
ma'am?
sir.
Still?
Thank you, sir. I've got clear idea
Yeah.
about it.
We can. Yeah. We can download it, ma'am. No problem. We can download it. There is no issue at all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So still any other questions?
Students, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Whatever it may be, that one in the blockchain arena, whatever you have it, you have the doubt, then please ask me, so that I will clarify your doubt. There is no issue at all. So in the research area, you can go ahead with a lot of scope is there. Even so many people approached me for doing the projects, doing the research on the only the blockchain, or maybe the blockchain with the data science, also a area in order to work on that research. So that is also possible. So like this, there are various things are there when we are talking about the blockchain and as well as the data science combination. Alone blockchain also is possible, but the combination also is working on it. There is no issue at all. Yeah. Any other questions, ma?
So I think no questions from the participant side.
Yeah. No other questions.
Sir, what
Okay,
about,
sir.
sir, good morning.
Yeah, sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, what about Ganachi? It's used in
Sir, tell
real
me,
time.
sir.
Sir, Ganachi is used in real time application? It's Ganachi.
Ganesh, we are using, sir. So that is also we are using it for like a truffle suit only. So it
Okay.
is a combination of truffle and as well as the Ganesh. We both can be combined together. We are using it in the realistic problem scenarios. We are using it. Why? Because the code should not be revealed. Whatever the problem we are solving it, that code should not be revealed. It. So because of that reason, if I'm doing my proprietary business kind of thing, that code should not be revealed to any other competitor. In that scenario, definitely I will take precautions of these things, using the truffle and using the Ganesh to deploy my contract on my own. Once everything is successful, then I use it to deploy this contract directly into my Ethereum. So Ethereum contract. That what we are doing it.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, actually, for that real estate and shipping logistics, mostly they are using, right, sir?
Yeah,
The,
no, sir. The applications are more, sir. That's a different story. So
okay.
applications we can have in any platform, any type of. Because of that reason, I have started my session with the what we call as a land registrations. Why? Because every government are telling that yes, we are using the blockchain into the land registrations. Now, whatever if they are trying to implement the land registration directly, then it's falsy. Again, it will be a corrupted data only. It won't have any good data in the blockchain. We can't trust that data. That is a problem we are going to face in future if they are keeping the data into the blockchain, if they are not taking the precautionary measure. Because the thing is that even that we had a discussion with a economic professor. He advised us that okay, whenever you are implementing the things, if there is no clarity whose property is that one, then if I am doing that one, then there is no issue at all. There is no use at all. So like this way, when you are talking about the logistic or any other things also, so whenever we are implementing it, that implementation part should be taken care of. Suppose it should be proprietary for my thing only. Why? Because already for logistics, already so many applications are there available in the internet for usage. Even Walmart, the one of the finest like shopping mall in US, they are incorporating this blockchain technology. Because suppose if some fish was caught at Chennai, then it is coming to the Hyderabad. That I didn't know that when it was caught and what is the freshness of the fish. So there is a problem for me. So they have that application directly. So like this way, for every consumable, whatever we are consuming it in our daily life. So we don't know that what is the like the condition of that particular food. So in order to protect those things, we are using the blockchain. Anyway, still we have in our mind that is it really happens in the realistic scenario in future? Yes, right now it is not possible in Indian standards, definitely. But definitely after maybe the 3 or 4 years, then everything will be come into the real picture. No issue at all.
Yes,
Right now,
sir.
maybe in 2005 or in 2006, we can't imagine that we have a smartphone and we are going to talk like this way. We can't imagine, right now. We didn't imagine that one in 2005 or 4. We have a smartphone. By using the smartphone only, we can rule the world. We didn't expect that one, but it happens within a 5 years of span. Everything, right? So the blockchain also definitely whatever we require in the security concerns. So for that reason, definitely we are going to use the blockchain. No issues. Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Yes, sir. Sir, okay, sir. But I feel like if most of our own business application that what we are developing, that distributed ledger should be as a private, right? It should not be into the public blockchain.
Your voice is breaking, sir.
Sir, actually,
Yeah. Suppose if I'm talking about the KCG college.
yeah.
Yeah. I got your point. I think so that. So if I'm talking about the KCG college, right? So
Okay.
if I want to deploy a blockchain network for the KCG college, then I will go with a private.
Private, yeah.
Then I will go with a private.
Okay. So that's
Now
what
suppose
based
if
on
some
the.
other colleges also.
Okay, sir. Okay. So based on the business
Yes, sir.
application, it might differ, right?
Yes, sir. The based on the who are the actors, the majorly
Okay.
to whom I want to transparent. Now suppose take the banking system, sir. In the banking system, they will protect the data. They don't want to publish the data into the public domain. Whatever they have, that one revenue or profit or something like that way, they don't want to reveal the data into a public domain. So in that scenario, I'm going with a private blockchain. Now suppose a KCG college only, then definitely I'm going for a private blockchain. Suppose if I'm talking about some other colleges also, these all wants to share their knowledge, then also I'm talking about the private blockchain. This is also private blockchain only, but I'm talking with respect to the consortium. Right now, sir, if I'm talking about the one college, then it is a private blockchain. If I'm talking about the various colleges, they want to share their knowledge, then I can have a consortium. I want to make it a public. Public means that suppose if the government, whatever the government operations are there, that may be a death certificate or birth certificate or any other certifications and all these things, that we can place it in a public domain. So that we can go for the public blockchain. Even if you read the papers, then Dubai government, they planned by 2020, maybe this 2020 we have to forget about this one, that's a different story, but by 2020 they want to make all the public public companies or public works should be done through blockchain. They have planned like that way. I don't know what is the current status of the Dubai blockchain network, but they have planned initially like that way. All the public works should be done through blockchain. So that is a great move from the Dubai. Yeah, please, sir. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So one more question, sir. Like apart from these cryptographic algorithms like SHA, public key, private key, any new algorithm has been developed, sir, for the security in blockchain?
Yes, sir. Ethereum is they are using their own algorithm. They are not using SHA-256 for hashing. They have
Oh,
used their own algorithm. That's their choice. So whether they
oh,
want to go with the existing algorithms, or if they want to go with an like a separate algorithms, then they can develop the new algorithms on the Terina. That is the possibilities are there.
okay, but that hashing remains the same, right, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. If in case the hacker try to,
And yeah, whether they are taking the ETH hash in the Ethereum.
okay,
Yes, sir. Tell me.
if a hacker, they're trying to damage the hash values, is it possible the data will be tampered, or we can able to retrieve the data?
No, it can't able to tamper, sir. First of all, as no, that only they can't able to tamper the data.
Yeah, but the
For
hash
that reason,
value
they
might
have
be changed.
incorporated.
Hash values may be changed,
No,
no?
how they can change the hash value?
Okay.
No, how they can change the hash value? That only, right? In this diagram, I have shown you that suppose they are trying to change this one, right? They are trying to change this data.
Okay.
This is my transaction, sir. This is my transaction, right? They are trying to change this data, right? What happens? The associated hash value will be changed, right? If they are trying to change this one, the associated hash value will be changed. Then if this hash value will be, if it changed, then automatically this hash value will be changed, right? Automatically the entire block hash will be changed. Not only a single block hash value, all the associated block hash will be changed.
Yes, sir. That's what my question
Right
is.
now, sir,
Yes, sir.
it's a tree only, na?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So in the tree, everything will be, yeah, everything will be changed. Yeah, whenever one, so, and then one more point is that the that transaction should be authenticated. So whenever they are trying to change this one, automatically hash values are changing it, and the entire block is going to be changed it, then they can't do it that work. Right now, so our mindset is like that way, is that whenever we are learning these things, then we feel that okay, in the database, so suppose if I'm having a I have a name called as a Rama, but it is not Rama, it's only the Ram, right now, so that I can change this one from Rama to Ram. I can change it in our normal database system. But whereas if I'm talking about the blockchain, then definitely you cannot change it. Rama as remains Rama, and Ram remains Ram only. Then, sir, what happens? So that the two records will be handed out? No. Why? Because the latest ledger, this is my ledger, right? So this is my latest ledger. So that this will be taken into the consideration. But in my database, is it will be available? No. It will be removed from the database. You can't get this Rama. Why? Because I have changed Rama to Ram. Whereas in the blockchain, this Rama record also there, this transaction also available in the blockchain, and Ram transaction also available in the blockchain. Both are available. So that I can assure that okay, Rama is there. Now it is trying to change as Ram. Whether I have to accept it or not, that I have to confirm it. Right
Yes,
now, sir?
yes, sir. Thank you,
Hello.
sir. So,
Right.
thank you.
Yeah. 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 Any other questions?
So, but according to the size or capacity volume that we speak in blockchain, is that any drawback on those
Yeah.
lines?
Yeah,
Any
definitely, sir.
volume
So
consumption?
even yes. So the problem with the blockchain, which it means that as we are discussing about the like a blockchain advantage only, but we never discuss that. That is a good move of your question. that we never discussing about the what is the flaws in the blockchain. Means that the major flaw is that right now is that data, which it means that why? Because the where you are storing the data is storing in the each and every node, each and every node. So which it means that my system is my node. So whenever I am storing the data by using a particular system, then what is my capacity of my system? Maybe the 1 TB. Right now I cannot allocate all the 1 TB of my space for storing of a blockchain node. That is too difficult for me. So the data is limited in the blockchain, but still nowadays we are using so many other concepts which is incorporating with the blockchain called as an IPFS, interplanetary file system. By using this methodology, then they are storing the data in the IPFS, and only that hash value, it will give the hash value. That hash value we are incorporating in the blockchain. So that also is working on it, so that automatically they are increasing the space. So suppose if you are talking about the digital transcripts of the university or something like that way, if I'm talking the example, then they definitely they are doing this process by using the IPFS, right now, sir?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, any other questions, please?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering all of my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, any other questions? Participants, please, any questions from your side, please ask me.
I hope participants have no questions, sir.
Okay.
Shall we wind up the session, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for your wonderful session, sir. You have covered or start with a real-time application like land registration using blockchain by Telangana government and SHA-25 256 encryption algorithm, insurance application using blockchain and Ethereum blockchain in detail about the and digital signature, then Bitcoin, and most of the topics are covered in blockchain, sir. I hope the participants have enjoyed your session and you have answered the queries with a real-time application like that, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, participants.